Prime Minister Trudeau, to double down on what Madam President was just saying, the World Food Programme had already warned that 2022 would bring catastrophic hunger, and that I'm also learning, and this I didn't know, that Russia and Ukraine account for 12% of all food calories. So to have these countries now mired in conflict and their importance to the global food supply chain, what do countries need to do? What does the international community need to do to bolster hunger relief efforts, particularly to vulnerable regions?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, this just emphasizes once again what a terrible, horrific mistake Vladimir Putin made in choosing to launch this war. Because not only is it causing horrific impacts on Ukraine, on Europe, but as you say, it's affecting the world. In my conversations in terms of pulling people together for this pledging conference, but also just gathering support for Ukraine through the UN and elsewhere, conversations with leaders in South America, in Africa, in Asia, across the global south, there is a deep, deep concern that the energy insecurity and specifically the food insecurity that is being compounded, that as you say was already there for this year but is going to get so much worse, requires us all to stand up and work together, supporting organizations like UNICEF and particularly the World Food Programme that is heavily dependent on wheat from Ukraine, to try and replace that. And countries like Canada that can continue to grow and grow more will need to do that to compensate, but it's going to be a very, very difficult year. And I think that it underlines how important it is that, yes, we act to support people now in concert, in working together, but also that we understand that global instability, that attacks like this on the sovereignty of another country, conflicts wherever they happen around the world, have an impact that goes far beyond just the people and the civilians in the line of battle. It goes to our entire global system where we have to stop allowing conflicts and wars to undermine the progress, the support, and the advances we're seeing across the global south and around the world in creating more resilient opportunities for everyone. This is a big step back in the march towards a fairer world for everyone. That's why the world is coming together, not just in this conference, but in support for Ukraine and standing against Russia's terrible, terrible decision.
Prime Minister Trudeau, thank you again for your leadership, for the support of the Canadian people, and for being with us today from Ottawa. We truly do appreciate you. The floor is yours for your final remarks.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you all who contributed to the Stand Up for Ukraine event. You're making a real difference. Your efforts are saving lives. Of course, Canada will continue doing its part as well. Like the other countries making announcements, I can announce a new $100 million contribution, bringing our total humanitarian assistance to $245 million since the start of the year. We'll also provide over 345,000 essential relief items like blankets and mattresses to help those who need it the most. This is in addition to the $620 million in financial assistance we've already provided to Ukraine, another $1 billion in support still to come for Ukraine's economic resilience. Canada is home to the second largest Ukrainian community in the world after Russia. I'm talking to you today from Canadian Museum of History. You'll see behind me a church. Well, it's St. Onofrius' Church, which is a consecrated Ukrainian Catholic church that was built more than 100 years ago in the Canadian by some of those early Ukrainian settlers who came to Canada. It's a reminder that Canadians and Ukrainians share strong historical ties with so many countries around the world. Le Canada est toujours prêt à accueillir les réfugiés et nouveaux arrivants de partout dans le monde. En mars, on a investi 117 millions de dollars pour mettre en place des mesures d'immigration spéciales pour les gens fuyant la guerre en Ukraine. On a élargi le soutien et les services pour les aider à s'établir à leur arrivée. On a aussi mis en place une voie vers la résidence permanente temporaire pour permettre aux Ukrainiens de travailler, d'étudier et de demeurer au Canada. En moins d'1 mois, on a approuvé plus de 10 000 demandes et aujourd'hui, on continue d'en faire plus pour aider. We're continuing to look at ways to support Ukrainians who want to come to Canada and need financial help to make it happen. We're leveraging relationships with commercial airlines to organize a number of targeted charter flights in the coming weeks, and we'll provide up to 2 weeks of hotel accommodation for those who need it on our own. When violence forces people to leave their country rapidly, it's important to make sure they have what they need while they settle into their new communities. That's why we'll set up short-term income support to help refugees get on their feet. We're working with Canadians, provincial governments, and partners all over our country to ensure that Ukrainians have a warm reception when they arrive. These are efforts that Canada is doing, but countries around the world, particularly in Europe, are stepping up in all these ways as well, because this is a moment where the world needs to come together, stand up for Ukraine, and stand up for our values and principles, remembering that everyone deserves to be safe. So let's continue to be there for each other, my friends, and let's all continue to stand up for Ukraine, the values that we all believe in deeply. Merci.